All right, episode 17, folks, and it is a good one. This is a exceptional episode, in my opinion. Zach and I pre-taped a conversation with really a man that needs no introduction whatsoever, but we have a formal one that we're going to read out. Brandon Chrostowski, the founder and CEO of Edwin's Leadership and Restaurant Institute, is joining Friends for Good. We're going to share his conversation in a second. But for those that are not familiar with Edwin's, it's an organization that combines world class culinary education with a comprehensive support system to help formerly incarcerated people build meaningful careers and, really more importantly, meaningful lives. Under his leadership, Edwin's has become a nationally recognized model for rehabilitation. They're in 48 of the 50 states, their program, that is. And it's really about creating lasting change through opportunity. And it's just listening to his perspective was really eye opening. And Zach, if you have any thoughts that you want to share before we share that conversation, I'll give you the floor now to do so because that was, I mean, wow.
Yeah, I mean, really, I just want to talk about how monumental what he's doing actually is. You
Yeah.
think about the criminal justice system in the United States, how flawed it is, um, how mistreated so many people are, in my opinion, within the system. But in this case, almost more importantly, how mistreated they are once they are quote unquote rehabilitated by the prison system and leave.
Yeah.
They're not given the same opportunities to build a new life, which is the entire point of spending time in prison is to reflect. And if you come out a new person, you should get that opportunity
Yep.
to change your life. And not enough people offer that in this country, but Brandon decided to change that. Opened their opening night of Edwin's was in 2013. As Carson said, it is a restaurant and culinary institute. It teaches formerly incarcerated people how to work in a kitchen, how to operate in a restaurant, and really how to change their life. And it's really such a fantastic thing that he's doing. It has grown immensely. They have like 6 locations offering various things all around the greater Cleveland area. So with that, I would love to show you guys our conversation with Brandon, and I hope you enjoy because I genuinely believe it changed my life.
Here's that conversation. First and foremost, Brandon, we appreciate you jumping on the program. We were really, really excited to have you on. Zach and I, obviously, we both grew up in Shaker, so we're very familiar with Edwin's.
Yeah.
And in getting to understand your journey, I would just ask you, considering that you're not from the area,
Yeah.
why Shaker Heights? Why Shaker Square? Why Northeast Ohio? Why set up Edwin's in our neck of the woods?
Yeah, I mean it was simple. Like this idea of Edwin's I had in 2004. This is going back now 20, 22 years. And when I wrote the plan, I wanted to write it for people who needed second chance like myself and where could I best serve? And so I started looking around the country for the most distressed city, and Cleveland was it, man. So like in 2004 when I was just trying to find out where this should be, right? There was no roadmap how to build it. It's never been done before. I just looked for the most distressed city. It was Cleveland, Ohio.
Zach, I mean, I'll give you the floor if you got a good question.
Yeah.
Just go back and
Yeah,
forth.
I mean, definitely. First of all, I mean, I think that was, really a risk knowing that it's never been done before, but also choosing a city like Cleveland that it had the market for it, but to get people to buy into that is
Yeah.
so remarkable. I love how you started it with talking about second chances, because my first question is, who is somebody that gave you a second chance and why are second chances important?
Sure. Well, I mean, just the latter part of that, man, like it might be kind of like dumb luck or whatever, destiny, but you go to a place that you think you're going to serve a very distressed community, and so it was. But I didn't realize the philanthropic community here in Northeast Ohio. I mean, there's more nonprofits here per capita than anywhere else. It's the community foundation was started here by Rockefeller. There's just like generations and generations and of philanthropy and how your responsibility is to give back. So I don't know if this would ever worked anywhere else. You know what I mean? You look at like I see like Detroit, where I'm from, they're not even close to the philanthropic roots that I don't know that you see here. It blows my mind the giving that happens up here, and it's a very special ecosystem. I would have never known. But yeah, so second chances. I mean, it's simple. I mean, for me, I was in and out of jails. I had I've had my problems. I still do. We all do. And but I had this gentleman. He was a big fat guy. He's in Detroit, Michigan. He was a chef, a French trained chef. He was Greek, but he was French trained, and that's what he knew. He taught me the fundamentals. He gave me a chance in his kitchen. It was right off Woodward Avenue, and he taught me. He said, it's not practice that makes perfect. He says it's perfect practice that makes perfect. So the lessons I learned when I was young, man, young, for American standards, maybe not Europe, but I was, 18, 19. I started learning how to do things the right way, man, from holding a knife to the technique of making ice cream or, you name it, how to make chicken stock. It all came from him. So that chance he gave me in a kitchen, teaching me the right way, set my career, life, and everything on a trajectory that was, could be whatever I wanted it to be.
And Brendan, now that you've kind of built what you've built, I mean, you've done so much for the community
Mhm.
in Shaker, but far beyond that, what has it been like being a part of that community and seeing it from an outside point of view? How's it been for you to kind of see it grow into what it is today?
I don't know, man. It's like I'm still in the shits. You know what I mean? I haven't had a chance to come up for air and look back. Uh, I mean, Monday night I was here till about 2:30 a.m. Tiling this oyster bar. We're opening up an oyster bar. I need to open, for multiple reasons, but to get the job done, you got to work, and the next day you're doing something with fundraising. The next day it's dinner service. So it's just like right now I'm so deep into it. I can't tell you the impact that it's made. I the sheer numbers. I mean, locally what we've done, how we've expanded. Nationally, we're the number one educator in prisons in America. We've got over 60,000 graduates, 60,000 over across 49 states, 1,800 institutions. No one hits harder than we hit in this criminal justice system. So, like when you look at the sheer numbers, you say, "Shit, that's a lot." The letters we get every day from people around the country, it is special. But again, I'm still trying to make payroll in a week. I'm still trying to pay bills. I'm still trying to expand and grow the whole enterprise. So all I can tell you is, man, it's I don't know the impact yet, but one day I'm going to sit down and say, "Holy shit, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good run."
That answer really segues like so perfectly into my next question, which is just that on the show we've really discussed the importance of presence and just staying present and staying in the moment. And obviously you're discussing how much how you really haven't had the chance to really like sit back
Mhm.
and enjoy what you've built. To you, what is the importance of staying present, and is it a virtue that you carry with you every day?
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's a big one. I mean, there's a lot of there's a concrete presence and an abstract presence. So abstractly, I'm not in social media. I'm just not. I mean, I have a LinkedIn account that I'll check every so often. I mean, I'm not like actively on social media, but there's people who donate that reach out via LinkedIn. Okay, that's the only social media platform I got. No television at home, no streaming, no computer. The idea is to stay present in the world we live in and not this like I couldn't even tell you what else is out there, man. I see with my eyes, I act and go forward with the truth, not I don't know, something that's coming at me from a different world. So yeah, you got to stay present by staying connected, but stay connected, you have to be disconnected from all this shit. Uh, Presence in the physical sense is, I tell people all the time, man, you just got to be there. You just got to be present. And sometimes I don't feel like I'm doing shit, but just your presence is what people need. I mean, we have 5 kids, and so like being present with the kids, sometimes I'm so used to doing something and there's a response to it, or there's a tangible like result from it, right? I mean, I have a steak, I cook a steak, and the steak goes out, the guest is happy. It's this whole like, I mean, it's a constant, right? So, but sometimes you just sit there or stand there, and the presence is really all it takes. Um, and I think people underestimate that. They feel like they need to be hitting a home run every time they're physically someplace, or maybe the loudest person in the room they need to be. And it just again, presence is very important. But yeah, you have to have like an idea of what else you should be doing if you're present, observing, mentoring, communicating, reinforcing, sometimes yelling, like, "Wow, let's go, boys!" You know what I mean? But yeah, presence. That's a really good one that I haven't seen someone focus on, but it's definitely intentional here for sure.
Brendan, when you were first getting this thing started, I think you said your first class was 2013 or 2014.
Mhm. Yeah, in prisons it was in 2012. and the outside was November of 2013.
How did you remain present in that early period of Edwin's when I'm sure at that point you had these big aspirations to be right where you're at now, and I'm sure you're still thinking about ways to expand. But do you remember? Can you think about what was kind of going through your mind then, and how did you kind of just stay right between your ears, honestly?
Well, I came in undercapitalized. I was fucked. I mean, I had to be present. I mean, I didn't have enough. I mean, I couldn't be anywhere else. I was short money. I had maybe 2 weeks of operating capital. I mean, like I was teaching, I was cooking, I was serving. I mean, like whatever it takes, right? I mean, like it was a small enough location, you kind of be everywhere at once. But I mean, I had a very small team, and like we all had to hit, 1,000. We had to all throw a perfect game. We all had to be like everything that first like 6 months to a year. And so I had no choice but to be present. I wanted to be present, but I mean, there was no choice not to be present. But even today, I mean, I'm here, man. Like I'm here. I mean, my hands are in the construction, the hands are in the food tonight, the hands are in like, we open up in a juvenile correction center, a cafe. It's you've got to be all these places. You man, I don't know how to explain it. Otherwise, things fail or they're not as special. They don't have that edge. You don't have that edginess. You don't have that like, I don't know how you say it. The je ne sais quoi, right? The touch. You don't have the touch. If you're not present, man, like it's just different, right? And you can't AI that. You can't phone it in. Human spirit and being there is something you have to just I don't know. I don't know no other way, man. I'm like old school chef that is in their restaurants. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to segue for a second to talk about knife skills and something that really stood out to me. For any of our listeners that haven't seen the show, or not the show, the short film, absolutely incredible. Everyone needs to give it a watch. You have sort of dialogue in there where you call yourself and say, you know, about yourself that you think of yourself as trash, and
Mhm.
that it's sort of like a driving factor, or at least the way I interpret it, a driving factor reminding you of who you were and maybe still are, and push you to be the person that you want to be and know that you can be. Is that your way of grounding yourself? And do you feel a sense of gratitude when think about who you were and who you've become? And do you
Mhm.
try and, I guess, practice that gratitude?
Yeah, I mean it's always going to be at the center. That's not going to change. I think it's really important to know it like it doesn't define somebody, but when you hit some low places in life, I don't think that can ever come out of your system. You might be able to mask it into going shopping to try to forget about it or drinking or I don't know, pretend you live a different life, but the truth is what it is. And you know, I work I don't know, 18-hour day the other day. I go home, I'm not mad, I'm not sad, I'm just grateful to be here. I mean, life could have gone a million different directions, and it's gone this one. And I'm just grateful for it, man. So every day, I mean, I'm going to fight and work hard because I don't want to go back to what it could be. And so I'm always there for just trying to work even harder or find an edge somewhere, work a little later, get up a little earlier so the next guy doesn't, I can out fundraise him or outdo him in the restaurant business. But yeah, that's definitely there. We'll be present. And I think it does help you stay grounded as long as you don't forget where you come from. And some people start to forget, and I don't get it. I don't get how they forget, or maybe they just choose to like try to run away from it. And they start doing, I don't know, maybe they don't work as hard. It's like, what do you, I don't know. I don't know.
Have you kind of always had that mindset where it always just stems
Mhm.
back to who you just always were?
I think there's a definitely a part of that, but I don't know what you guys eat, your favorite food, but man, like when you taste something really nice, you say, shit, I want that again, right? I mean, like, I want that again. And like winning is cool, man. Winning feels good. And I know that to win, you have to sacrifice. Like if you don't, one, it's not as sweet when you do get it. And two, I mean, someone else is gonna like I tell my kids all the time, I say, like, you don't want to practice today? Like there's some kid over there practicing. You don't want to study hard, or some other kid out there studying hard. He's gonna take your scholarship. Like there's always someone out there, but I'll tell you what, man, there's no one's gonna outwork me. At the end of the day, I'm gonna say there's no possible way. And I think that drive comes from one, not wanting to go back to a certain place, but two, tasting that feeling of, man, like that feels good when you nail it. Like when you get traction to grow, or you I don't know, you know, whether you like you ask someone for money, they say yes. You're like, holy shit, they believe in me, that they know that I can do it. We can keep going. Or um, you know, getting a James Beard Award. It's like great. It's like, okay, this is pretty fucking cool. Like that's not why I did it, but it's like, okay, this is cool. I mean, you just don't want to lose that. And then in order to stay on that level, so when you get to the next level, there's a whole other group of people doing the same thing you're doing on that level. And when you get to the next level, they're doing the same thing that you know what I'm saying? There's always
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
edge, but I always go back to saying, I don't want to go backwards. I want to go forward. And I like the taste of winning.
You mentioned it in your response to one of our last questions, sort of about people
Yep.
forgetting where they come from and who they are. Um, I kind of believe, at least amongst my generation, there's like a stigma around needing to be a status symbol and make a ton of money and maybe do things that are less mission driven. And I think some of my early, at least career decisions, I just started the workforce, but I feel like I'm going away from that and maybe focusing too much on the money and and trying to maybe be someone that I'm not. And so I wanted to ask you, what advice could you give to someone like myself that wants to live a purposeful life, but are struggling to maybe figure out what that purpose is, and a little bit of how you found out that this was something you wanted to do?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I mean, you got to listen to your body, right? Like your instincts and your body will tell you things before your mind does. That's just the way it is. I mean, your palms will sweat before hey, I'm nervous. I mean, like it's just, I mean, it's how your body works, right? And but you know, you're not going to have the ability to listen to your body or trust your instincts if you're being brainwashed by whatever it is you're being brainwashed by, right? So who told you that life should be a status symbol? Who told you that, like, wherever that comes from is not like, I don't know. I don't think that's how, I mean, I don't know where it comes from. I don't know. I personally don't know. So I think that one, it's just staying true to like trusting your body, trusting your instincts. I mean, I'll tell you, in any speech I give, it's that's what's gotten me this far. Didn't graduate from Stanford, man. Like, I mean, I went to culinary school, just kicked ass, trust my instinct, worked hard, try to win on the edges. But I knew my skill inside and out. And that's a really important thing to remember too. Is so one, listen to your instincts and follow them with everything, because they'll never lie to you. Two, the skill that you're trying to learn it to the top. That's going to take some sacrifice. You know, learning food to the top. I mean, I worked my ass off for free for a long time, and I worked, you know, part-time bullshit jobs, or you know, just did it. You know what I mean? Like you figure it out. And I think people aren't willing to sacrifice and say, hey, I'm getting paid nothing right now. How's your job? I'm getting paid 100,000. How much I'm getting paid nothing? What do you mean you're getting nothing? Well, I'm working for this chef in France, and I'm learning things, and oh my God, what are you kidding me? Like I'm working in Nantucket, I'm making boatloads of money, but their ceiling is going to only be, you'll never be able to lead someone as far as whatever you know is as far as you'll be able to lead someone. Does that make sense? So put this all in one statement. Like one, you should know your shit inside and out, and to do that, it's going to take sacrifice, and sacrifice may not conform with what you're hearing. Two, you know, follow your body and its instincts. If it's telling you to be this, then be that to its best, its fullest, you know, fullest possibility. Because dude, history is not going to remember someone who drive a nice car and a nice house. They're fucking never remember that shit. I mean, it's like billions of people in the world. They're going to remember the freaking whack jobs that risked it all, had nothing, and like changed the world. So it depends on who you want to be, you know? So my advice is just follow your instincts, but you got to stay connected to your instincts, and you have to get away from everything else that's going on. Um, yeah, that's what I got.
Brendan, was there a moment in your life that kind of lit the fire under you to, in your words, be the whack job, be the person that wanted to change the world? Was there a moment that kind of just set all of this off that you can remember?
No, I think your product of your environment. You know, I mean, I grew up in a single parent household where with three boys that, you know, mom had to work, man. And like, you know, she had to put food on the table, and the expectation for who I was supposed to be was to stay out of prison, which I kind of did. And it was to graduate high school, which I barely did. So I never had this like pressure, this like some of you guys might have nowadays, where parents, you have to get this grade, you have to go to this school, you have to be. I had like just like graduate high school and stay out of prison. Like, I'm proud of you. So therefore now what I see in the world and the constraints that are around it or what is possible is open. It's not it's this. And I think that was one of the greatest gifts of all. And it didn't happen overnight. It just happened by watching, a single mom work her ass off. And I fucked around too much and I said, what am I doing? Like, this is stupid. Like, you know what I mean? And then having a chef be like, I can teach you this. And then I got really big with my grandmother, got really big into religion. So it was like a total 180 in my life, right? Like that kind of evolved over the course of like a summer. But leading up to that, the idea of anything's possible and just making stupid mistakes while someone's working their tail off, and then finding God more deeply, and then finding a chef who mentors me, that everything just like pow, man, like it just changed. And I just went with it and I said, fuck, I can do this. And when I saw like the great restaurant, I apprenticed under one of the greatest chefs in our country ever. And when I saw the level of what they were doing and how they were doing it, I said, holy shit, man. Like, I remember it was Charlie Trotter who I worked for. I just remember when I got the apprenticeship, I was going there for a day to try out. And I walked past the restaurants like 4 or 5 fucking times. And because it was a very European, understated restaurant, there was no sign. There's boxwood in front of it. It didn't want to be there. It was kind of hidden. And I just thought I was looking for a big sign that said Charlie Trotter and big lights. Like here's, I mean, because coming from Detroit, Midwest, it was like the best steakhouse was the brightest steakhouse. It was the biggest sign. It was, you see what I mean? Like, so my whole world just kind of flipped and I liked it. I loved it. And I said, holy shit, man, this is what it means to be great. I want to be great. I think that was probably one of the moments that just took me from like, I'm really good at culinary school. I was a leader to like, holy shit, this is what the world's best look like. Yeah.
Yeah.
I, I love that lens of sort of the idea. Like one of the episodes we just recorded was being grateful about the little things and celebrating the little wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you speaking on the fact that the expectation or was just that I'm proud of you if you graduate high school. I'm proud of you if you stay out of prison. Like, I think it's hard for people that maybe, I don't know, had everything and then they don't know how to be grateful for the things that they have. And so your lens is really, at least your perspective is definitely really valuable, I think,
Yeah.
to what we're talking about. Um, Sort of a question about the Edwin's mission. In your eyes, what does it mean to truly forgive someone and also forgive yourself for maybe mistakes you've made? And it ties in with second chances, but yeah, just forgiveness as a whole. How is that central to Edwin's and what does it actually mean?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know if I mean, there's still people I'm mad at I don't talk to. I mean, for years. I mean, I'm not the guy to be preaching the message, you know what I mean? I feel things in a certain way and I'll hold on to that forever. I'm not very good at this idea of forgiveness. I'm not. So I'm probably not the best person to ask that question to. But I mean, that's just my little problem I gotta get over. On the forgiving yourself part, you know, I don't know, man. My memory's just too short. I mean, there's just so much shit to do. I'm so buried and maybe that's intentional. Maybe I'm doing it to like try not to think about, my problems I've got. But I really don't like, I don't like say I'm a bad person. I don't say I'm a good person. I just say I'm a person trying to work hard. But I mean, it's like there's some of the stuff I did, I kind of chalk up to being fucking young and stupid. And so I was a dumbass. And I was like, what I do that for? That's how I felt at the moment. I did it. Okay. You don't think you're young, you're stupid. So I don't feel the pressure of having to forgive myself for the bad things that I've done. But I just try to live a better life, teach others, by example, you know, to how to do something differently or better. But ultimately someone's got to find what better means to themselves, you know. Uh they have these like one of the big classes they teach in prisons now across the country. There's not like one hot pocket for it. Is what you just said, this idea of forgiveness and this and that. People doing, they're sitting down for 30, 40 years. They did some really bad shit. And then, uh, that'd be a better person to ask about how to do that.
Well,
Right.
Carson, if you don't mind, can I just a quick follow-up?
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely, bro.
Um,
Absolutely.
I mean, but do you not think that second chances, like, which is the whole idea of Edwin's of like you're leaving prison and there's a ton of employers in this world that won't hire you solely because
Mhm.
of that, but you're the person, you're the business that will do that. You don't think second chances maybe ties directly into forgiveness? Like I think personally, I think they go hand in hand, but maybe you have a different perspective, and I'd love to hear it.
I just believe in meeting people where they're at and help taking them to where they want to go. There's nothing I have to forgive, or think about. We don't ask about anyone's offense here. Like we just
Yeah.
say, come on in, right? I mean, it's not even it's not even an afterthought. It's just like meeting someone who wants to be their best when they want to be their best, and then helping them get to where they want to go with the skills and talent that I've been grateful enough to receive, and just roll and just rock. Again, I don't even ask. I don't even think about it. I think as another employer, I don't know if they're looking to forgive someone. I think they're looking to protect themselves, or they're surrendering to the fear in the world rather than, I don't know, investing in the potential of somebody. And that's a big problem in life. When I open up a campus in housing or a daycare center, the first thing I hear is you can't. This is good. I like, fuck cares. Like, why are we surrendering to fear? Why aren't we like believing in what's possible? Isn't that more powerful than the fear that we surrender? So I think it's more of like that kind of factor for employers who are hiring. They're surrendering to something, and how it relates to forgiveness, I don't know. I see how you ask the question, why it's important, how it relates, and I'm sure it's intertwined. I look at things very like shoot, 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 shoot. You know what I mean? I live in the gray, but I see these things as meeting someone where they're at. What they do, who cares? Let's go and watch them evolve. And yeah, forgiveness is something I don't know if we really talk about a whole lot. Our leadership guy, we got a leadership guy here who teaches leadership. He's all about that kind of stuff.
Brandon, something that we've kind of preached on this show, and I
Mhm.
mean, you wouldn't know this, but I'm training for a half Ironman right now, so like
Nice.
it's been a process, and it's something that I've really enjoyed, and something that we've preached is like just enjoying the process as much as possible, which
For
kind
sure.
of goes hand in hand with being present. And for you, I just want to ask, like, you said you never really get a chance to reflect. You're kind of always in the process. Like, where did you learn to love it? Like, I know you have goals, but it just kind of seems like, you meet your one goal and then you just keep going. So the process kind of never really stops. Like, how did
Yeah.
you really get that mindset? I guess is what I'm
Um,
asking.
Dude, that was Trotter. That was Chicago. I mean, at 20 years old, I'm working in this kitchen, and it's like, he says, we're going to strive for excellence every day. We're going to strive for perfection. We'll never reach it, but we're going to keep striving for it. And every day we start over and do it again and do it again. I mean, it was just like this. I got it, man. I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I saw where he wanted to go and where he's coming from, and the importance of that. Yeah, I mean, I think that was, a large part of it, but another part of it is like the business plan you write for an idea goes in the fucking garbage day one. And now it's just like surviving. And like I don't know how, like I don't have I have like 5 year plan of what I hope happens, right? Like I hope we get better. I hope we get more how like whatever. I'd like to do this. Like these are plans, but it's all driven by the moment. And if you're not in the moment, you're not feeling that energy. You don't that's going to be more. That's going to be stronger than any other plan that you write. Five, COVID happens. I mean, like that's like a great example, and everyone can relate to that because they lived it right now, right? I mean, COVID happened. They're like, we're shutting down restaurants, and they're like, perfect. I'm like, my mind and my instincts said that people were nervous. And if you're nervous, you just want good food, like a stew. It makes you feel better. I'm like, they're scared about money. And so I'm like, well, I think I can do this cheap. I think I could do 4 meals for $40. Because I've got a bakery, I've got a butcher shop. If I vertically integrate this and put everyone to work, we could do it. Dude, we tripled business that year, man. Fucking tripled it. Got another restaurant, got another apartment building. I wasn't scared, nervous. I just was feeling what I thought should happen because I was there and I went with it, right? And that's like every day I wake up and it's like, there's money that has to be met for bills and payroll, and there's a class has to be taught, and the restaurant opens at 4. There's some like hard stops you have to meet. But how you get there every day changes, man. Like you see what I'm saying? I mean, but you have to
Yeah.
understand, you have to really believe, and you have to really believe that's going to happen if you follow. You have to trust your instincts 110%. You have to go out there and give a speech without notes, knowing that your body is going to listen to the audience, and as you talk, it will tell you how to finish that speech, the next sentence. And that's how I go into speeches. I don't pre-write them. I just go in there and say, I want to send a message of resilience. Okay, that's my goal in my head. And then in there, you start talking, you start feeling the energy. You're like, okay, I got it. And you just go in this direction, but you have to feel in front of 500 people, 100,000 people. confident enough to do that because your body, you trust your body that much. So that's what I mean by goals and like what's going to happen. What do I reset it every day? I listen to the people I serve. They need a home. Why don't they have a home? I'll build a home, right? Like they don't have childcare. Let's build childcare. Uh, yeah, but you gotta be so in touch with your instincts, man. And I can't preach enough. The substances that you use are gonna get you away from that. The social media is gonna get you away from that. The distractions on television will get you away from that. Your diet might get you away from that. Some poor foods make you think poorly and stuff like that. So
Brandon, I can't tell you how much my family bought those 4 for $40 meals during
yeah,
COVID. I think that was like a
it's fine.
twice a week thing that Jeff Fowler was doing, bringing those back because he was like, "Oh, we're supporting Edwins and we're getting really good food. This is like a win, 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 win."
It's great, dude.
Edwins.
Him
Oh my
alone,
God.
he probably paid for that apartment building with all that shit, you know?
He honestly, he might have. He might have.
Yeah.
I just have one more question for
Yeah.
you, these of the ones that I've written down. But first, I just want to talk about my biggest takeaway from what you said was really I feel like it is or it's going to be a little bit transformative just about trusting instincts and being so in tune with who you are. Because hearing you speak just now and throughout this interview, I've gathered that you trust your instincts, that you have an
Mhm.
intrinsic confidence that no one can take away from you, and it truly rallies and motivates everyone you're around. And talking to you, like it's clear why people believed in you and why Edwin's is successful, because you have those skills that I hope to adopt more of. So that's my quick
Thank
compliment, and I'm grateful that I got to speak with you today. I guess my final question is going back to this idea of this presence and the fact that you haven't had a chance to reflect. Um, is there someone or a
you.
few people like standouts through the Edwins program that have really soared with either within the business or moved on to other things as a result of the program that you look back and look at and you just say, I'm proud of myself and I'm proud of them? Like, have you had
Mm.
the opportunity to do that at least?
Great question, Z.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't like I give credit to the human. Like I mean, listen, I'm putting together a stage for them to figure their lives out at, right? Like they're doing all the work, they're doing all the reflection. Uh, I'm not going to pretend to take credit for that. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but I mean, from that said, like, so I'll say that it's their thing. The ones that I think, to me, have brought me a lot of like they did it were I mean, there's a handful. Like everyone here is doing something. Like really, they're overcoming incredible odds, but. Some you just say, "Holy shit, man, that was really good." There's a few, there's a small handful, and it sticks with me too because I that's the fucked up things about humans, man. We can do the most powerful things with our bodies and our minds. We can do the most powerful things. We can fly to the moon. We can, go to the bottom ocean. You can do anything, right? You can long jump and all, but we can do the most worst things, And so it's just between our ears is what's making that happen. So when someone does something spectacular, I always know that it's possible. But when you see it and you actually see it, you're like, holy shit, that was pretty cool. You know, like it's
Yeah.
in them because you can do anything as a human, good or bad.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I said, there's a few that say that was nice, man. Like so you got to give credit. Like that was nice. Like that was nice.
Brendan, correct me if I'm wrong. You guys have La Bastille Day coming up, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you wouldn't remember this, but you actually met Zach probably 8 years ago. We
We
played two
volunteered.
on, yeah, he
We
played
volunteered.
volunteered, and we
Yeah,
It was
played
the
2-on-2
basketball. Yeah.
basketball. Yeah, in the
yeah,
behind
yeah.
the butcher shop. You
That's
had you
pretty
had
sweet.
you had some good skills. I think you might have beat us. I think it was you and I couldn't remember his life or his name, but you guys definitely
Big
beat us.
was he a big guy, kind of fatter?
No, it wasn't Big John. I know Big John.
No, I'm not saying like that. Oh, yeah, no, not Big John. No, no, it wasn't Big John. I was thinking one of the students. I vaguely remember that actually because I think Follow was there too. Your dad, your dad was
Definitely.
there too. Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
Listen, man, I'll fuck someone up on the court. Like I don't mind doing it. Like what I'm saying? Like it's old school shit, man. It's like moves from like the '90s. You know what I mean? And I grew up in Detroit, so it's a different kind of ball we play out there.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I just remember that as a core memory. And first and foremost, thank you so much for joining us. Like everything you just said was what Zach said, just so easy to digest. And things that we all could be doing better. Like I think the instincts one was really something that stuck with me. Like just trusting like who you are. I
Mm.
really enjoyed that bit and really enjoyed this conversation. And again, we really appreciate you jumping on. We really wanted to get you on the show because
Thank you.
like everything you just said like aligns with what the mission is with our show about like being present and being focused on what you're doing and just daily self improvement and just how process driven you are is really so inspiring. So really, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime, man. And like, I don't know how these things work. I don't. I've talked in these it's like a podcast, right? It's like a podcast. I've talked these things before, and whatever. People listen, some people don't listen, but just at the end of it all, like doing nothing is bad. I say that's like one of my things. Like doing nothing is bad. Like you go to a talk and you're inspired, and then afterwards you do nothing about it. You go to a concert, you're like, wow, that was beautiful, and like you do nothing about it. Like doing nothing is bad. And I just think that, whatever happens with this, whoever listens to it, like afterwards, you better do something. Like it's bad if you don't. Isn't it like such a waste? Like just think about it. Like doing nothing is bad. And like anything is better than nothing. So that's good, but nothing is bad. So I hope that someone does something after this and that's good. If not, it's bad.
You know,
That
my
was
go
go
ahead,
ahead,
Z, go
Carson.
ahead. No, no, you got it, you got it.
I mean, yeah, what a perfect like. I mean, I'm out of questions. I don't know how much more you have to say, Carson, but that was such a good like last note, like inspiring to me because I'm one of those people that goes to a concert and like it's exactly that. Like that was the best night ever. Like, and I'm so inspired by the music, and I'm like, wow, I want to do this, this, and this in my life, and then I go home and nothing changes. So
Hmm.
it's a great reminder for me. And if no one listens, if no one listens to this or no one takes that to heart, just know that I will. Because that
Yeah.
was great.
This has been awesome. Brandon, I always say nothing ever easy is good and nothing ever good is easy.
Hmm.
That's like words that I live by. That's what kind of came to mind when you brought that up. But we have taken up enough of your time. We really appreciate you. I know you got to get back to the oyster bar. Thank you so much for joining Friends for Good. This has been unbelievable. Seriously. Thank you so much.
Cool, man. All right, we'll do it again.
All right. Thank you, Brandon.
Thanks,
Appreciate you.
Brandon.
All right, ciao.
I mean, no words.
Yeah.
No words at all. I think the best part about this show, obviously the topics and what we discuss, and you, Marcus, and I talk often about how we think it's so important to have these conversations, but to then bring in these outside perspectives, Josh Moser, Marcus McClanahan, obviously now a part of the show, and now Brendan Chrostowski, and to hear their perspective, it's so valuable because it just it opens your mind to almost new neural pathways, thoughts that I didn't even think of before. I thought his take on forgiveness was so interesting.
So, but what I loved most about what he said about forgiveness, which we talked about briefly, was how much of a different answer it was from anybody that I've heard speak on it. Really,
Yeah.
just what really stuck out to me was when he said that he meets people for who they are then, like who they are in the moment, which to me foregoes the entire idea of what forgiveness actually is. Like it's almost like you don't need forgiveness because you're meeting a new person. Like you're not meeting the person that made those mistakes. You're meeting someone completely new that's trying to be better. So why do I need to forgive them? It's almost like forgiving yourself is very important. I stand by that. And that's just something within you. But in his eyes, it's just not necessary. And I love that. And even though he said he's someone that struggles with forgiving other people and that there's people he still does not like in his life, at least the new people, especially people that society may not have forgiven them for the things that they've done, he doesn't care because he's meeting them for who they are now.
I I also thought it was so interesting how his sort of radical view of being present, no TV at home, no social media besides LinkedIn to help support his business. And you can just tell how mentally sharp and just absolutely committed to the process he is. Like, this is a guy that had all the odds stacked against him. Hardly graduated high school, in and out of jail or confinement, single mother. Like the legitimate personification of adversity was the beginning of his life. And I love what he said where he's like I'm insane. I'm a whack job, but I wanted to be a person that wanted to change the world. And that's the kind of person you have to be. Like you have to be a little crazy. to do that. Like to be that driven, you got to be a little nuts. Like you have to be.
And I just really, what's going back to what you said about what he said, which is that he does the no TV, no social media. And what he really talked about and what really stuck with me because I related to it was him saying, you're not going to know your instincts when you're relying on other things to almost regulate you, like social media, TV, substances. For me, that's a big thing. Like I take Vyvanse every day for work and I rely on Zins and these stimulants that hearing him say that and knowing who he is and just who he's become, it kind of changes something in my mind where I'm like, okay, well, maybe I don't need this, or maybe the reason why I'm out of touch with what my purpose is and my mission is because I'm not letting myself be like truly, truly sober. Like I'm not drinking, I'm not smoking. I've spoken on that before, but it doesn't matter because I'm still relying on external things to regulate myself. And that perspective was so good for me to hear. Um,
I could not agree with that more. And I'm going to shout out my Aunt Lori, who I shouted out last week regarding the 531, five deep breaths, three things I'm grateful for, and an intention. She is very aware of what she's putting in her body, almost a little type A OCD. But she was thinking about it like it's so like fun to eat certain things or take a certain substance or whatever, or drink or yada yada, whatever. But then you kind of think like, is that actually something I want in my body? And like, how is that going to make me feel? Like the other day, I was out and about and I was with Morgan and my brother and they were all drinking. And I was like, I don't really think I need a drink. Like I got an NA beer and everyone's like, NA beer or whatever.
yeah,
But I was like, I don't want to not feel like out of touch. Like I kind of want to be like where I'm at and like fully enjoy this moment. And that's actually something I think about often about things that I put in my body. And I'm ultra conscious of it right now with this Ironman training. But it's something that you overlook, I think, a little bit. Just because you're like, oh yeah, I'll just eat that, or I'll just take that, or I'll drink this. It's like whatever.
it, and the more you do it, the easier it becomes to not think about it.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's what I really think is like clearly something he does well is being conscious and being present because you can't stop yourself from doing these habitual things until you understand presence, like
Yeah.
until you really understand what it means to be in a moment, you're always going to look for other things to stimulate you. And so yeah, I mean,
He's
he,
extraordinary.
he is quite a person.
If
We
I
don't,
get
we
to a
don't know,
point,
oh, go ahead.
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. If I
No.
get to a point in my life where I would consider myself successful but I'm still that driven to just be absolutely excellent every day and strive to be the best version of myself tomorrow and the next day in 5 years, like I hope at some point in my life I get to a point where I still want to feel that. Like I'm striving for excellence every day. I haven't made it in my terms yet, and I'm young. But the fact that he's a father, he's a husband, he's got five kids, he runs a extremely successful business, like has done amazing things for our home. And he's still like, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to be better at that. Like, I hope I get there someday. I aspired for that, to be honest.
If I could develop just his mindset, that would be enough because that's his outlook, his perspective on the world. It's truly he wants to help people and he's also doing it for himself, which is it's the perfect balance, right? Like
Yeah.
he's successful. This is about his mission, this is his purpose. And he almost implied that he has goals, but they're not expectations. And I think that's a really big part
Yeah.
of it. It's like
Yeah.
I want to do these things. I'm going to be driven to get these things. And if I do enough, it should happen. But it's like he's too present to think about it. He's too present to think about really what the future is going to hold. And yeah, all in all, such a fantastic guest. I hope you all enjoy listening to it because man, being in it was crazy.
It was so cool. And and going back to my initial question, the first question in the interview, just being like why Northeast Ohio? Why Shaker Heights? And the fact that he was like immediately snapping fingers was like it was the place with the most need.
Yes. Yes.
I
Like,
like we talked about LeBron, Miles Garrett, Jose Ramirez, these athletes that have done so much for Cleveland sports and the city of Cleveland. And Brandon had no connection to Cleveland whatsoever, but was like, this is a city that needs something like this. And now for what it's become, like it is such a staple in our town. Like if you go to Shaker, you know what Edwins is. If you are
yes.
from the Northeast Ohio area, you are, I would say, 80 out of 100 people are familiar with Edwins.
Yes. And the fact that Edwins has a James Beard Award,
Oh, it's
like
unbelievable.
it's just so remarkable what they've done. It's so inspiring, and I hope to affect a community the way that they did, because
Yeah,
that's what it's all
damn
about,
right.
is
Damn
being a
right.
part of a community and making the place better than you found it, which Edwin's did. I mean, how many people do they employ now? Like with like they probably employ like 500 to 1,000 people, like more. So like,
Did he say they've had 60,000 graduates?
yeah, I mean,
Like, bro, that is like insane.
60,000 lives changed because of a system that might be broken, but he didn't give up on the people that are going through that. Um,
Amen.
so
I I really hope y'all enjoyed that as much as we did because that was I'm like honestly a little starstruck. Like you meet some people and you're like kind of like what Brandon said. Excuse my French. Holy shit.
yeah, holy shit.
I had a
Um,
couple of those during that.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think the last thing that I have to say, personally, is really the note he ended on, which is you can see a beautiful concert, not do anything with it. You could listen to this podcast, not do anything with it. You can go to an inspirational speaker, not do anything with it. I think my advice, at least with doing something, because he said doing nothing is horrible, is to manage your expectations with yourself and just little by little pick yourself up and do something. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be monumental. Go on a walk, go to the gym. If you're like me, cut down on Zins a little bit. Maybe realize that I don't need to ride my Adderall as much as I do, and good things will come. But if you're listening, go do something.
Yeah.
Go do something that is on your mind that you want to do that is going to put you in a positive direction.
You couldn't have said it better than that. And I think this show is in a inherently is entirely that. We felt like we were doing nothing. And now we're 17 plus weeks into this weekly self improvement, having open and honest conversations, and just trying to be a little bit better than we were yesterday. And man, I loved every bit of that.
Yeah.
Episode 17, absolute banger. Shout everything he said from the rooftops. Yeah,
Thank you all for listening. We'll see you next week. Go do something.
go do something. Cheers.